answers to some of the burning questions y'all send to the show. I mean, it's really amazing. I go upstairs and there are like boxes of emails. We go online, you've DM'd the team. So all hour long, we're committed to answering some of your questions in Dear Tamron. I don't have the answers, but I know people who might. Our next guest knows all about how to navigate the tides of friendship. She balances work as a coach, author, and host of a podcast. It's called Friend Forward. Danielle Bayard Jackson uses research, strategies, and her signature tough love truth to teach us how to maintain and create healthy relationships. Here she is explaining her theory on the 3 affinities of female friendship. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Danielle Bayard Jackson, and for a living, I study what the research has to say around women's cooperation, communication, and conflict. And I want to show you this framework, which is called the 3 affinities of female friendship. If women in their platonic relationships are having tension, it's likely because somebody perceives a violation in one of these 3 areas: symmetry, support, and secrecy.
Danielle is breaking it down with us. She joins us. Please welcome Danielle Bayard Jackson to the show. Okay. I am intimidated that you have a spreadsheet on how to handle friendship. Is it that complicated that we need spreadsheets?
It really is sometimes. I know we like to think that it's just organic, but sometimes it helps to have a language to explain exactly what's happening.
Okay, I've had the same best friend since I was in the 4th grade. Thank goodness. 4 years old, actually. 4. So friendships are important to me. I'm a ride or die with my crew. Now, here's Danielle. She's a content creator. She goes by Big AK on TikTok. She posted a video wondering if she acted like a bad friend because she's quick to cut people out of her life who don't meet her friend expectations. Let's play it.
I'm in my late 20s and I cannot tell if I am a good or bad friend. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I don't know if I am a good or bad friend at this point because I enjoy being alone so much. It irritates me when somebody is wasting my time and wasting space in my life and not holding any weight. And I feel like I'm doing all that. But I'm just trying to see if me wanting more and expecting more now that we're adults is being a bad friend.
All right. So I see a lot of people saying that does not make her a bad friend. What's your take on this video?
You know, first, I like when people start by asking, hey, am I a good friend? Because I see people pointing fingers at others.
See, I think if you have to ask, that means you're not a good friend.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
It's like when you're in a relationship, if you have to ask the other person, what are we? You already know you're nothing.
Yeah.
You're nothing. You're nothing, because they're going to let you know if you're the one. I just feel that way.
Sure. You know, in terms of her energy level and not having time, this and that, it's okay to have different tolerance levels. But once you start having a relationship with another person, there is a degree of compromise. So she even mentioned in that video about cutting people off. I don't have time for this and that. And my thought is that sometimes that's an overcorrection. Somebody who's been hurt before, you've been betrayed.
I agree.
But when you're engaging with another person, there has to be margin for error. We have to communicate. We have to be tender in that way.
It's called grace.
That's right.
And that's the thing. When I was listening to her video, you know, I get it, because you know, we did a show on girlfriends and friendships, and one person said it was harder to maintain the friendship than it was a marriage, because it is a, some people don't realize it's a commitment.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the friend that I call you and I have to listen to your problems, you never ask me how I'm doing. You also don't want to be the friend who's always lending, or where it's transactional.
Yeah.
And I get what she's saying, but to your point, when you're willing to cut off people, is that, I don't like that. I'd like to sit down and let's talk about it. What's going on versus I'm never going to talk to you again. That's a hard line.
Yeah, and it's good to have discernment, right? Because you don't want to be a doormat, but you also have to give grace. That's just what relationships are all about.
I like that. Okay, so the next question, our next Tam Fam member having a hard time picking between her best friend and her best friend's boyfriend. Whoa, okay. Some people hit a nerve here. This letter says, Dear Tamron, my best friend has a boyfriend, so naturally the 3 of us spend a lot of time together, and I've really grown to like him. I was on her phone checking for our food delivery when I saw she was getting raunchy texts, but not from her boyfriend, from her ex. I confronted her and what is going on in this relationship, and said she was trying to date both until she decides. I'm starting to feel guilty. I don't know what's happening in this friendship here. What is it?
It sounds like she's friends with the female friend and came to like her boyfriend. Like they're friends. Like they're friends. And she notices that her friend is cheating on the boyfriend who she's come to like as a friend. Yeah. So it sounds like she's torn between the two. You know, when we go back to those 3 offenders.
How are you torn between the two?
Torn between whether or not to tell her boyfriend that she's cheating.
It's your friend.
Here's the thing. The fact that we're divided, I think says...
Are we? No, we're not.
The fact that we're not divided, but I'll tell you this is, if it sounds like she's upset that the friend is cheating on the boyfriend and she's torn, her affection and her alliance should be to the friend because that's her friend. However,
you don't have to approve of the behavior. You go to your friend and say, listen,
right. So
I saw this. Let's talk what's going on because you don't know.
That's right. And so I would suggest a strategy I call telegraphing your dilemma, which means you let people know your internal conflict. So tell the friend, hey, it's important to me to support you and I have your back, but I also sometimes feel complicit when I'm hanging out with the two of y'all and I know he's, you know, getting cheated on and I feel some type of way about that. And let your friend know what position it puts you in while also communicating that I do support you, but this is tough for me because it's an integrity issue.
I like that. And I think also to your point, ask like, hey, what's going on? Because you don't know what's really going on in your friend's life, what really is the real scoop on that relationship. But I am a fan of saying to my friends, even with my husband who I adore, I tell my friends and I tell my husband, they were here before you, Stephen.
Right.
So listen, they're gonna probably outlive you maybe some of these friends. But I don't like the idea that she feels like she has to pick between her friend and her boyfriend.
Sure.
Her friend's boyfriend. That's your girl.
Yeah, that is her girl. I think she's saying that she also feels bad for the boyfriend. So like if the three of them are hanging out and you feel like you know that he's kind of getting played, but letting a friend know, I have your back and this feels like an integrity issue, what are we gonna do?
I love that advice.
Totally fair.
Danielle, you have picked the hardest category of the answers today. My gosh, give it up for Danielle. You can follow her on TikTok at The Friendship Expert.